Hello, everybody. Welcome to MangaPod. I'm Erin,
I'm Dodger.
I'm Moeka.
and we are a podcast in which we get together after we read all or part of a manga and we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week we are talking Mob Psycho 100, chapters 33 to 64. If you've never joined us before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka summary. Then we'll give you our spoiler-free recommendations. That way, if it sounds like something you're interested in, you can take your leave once we get to spoiler section, come back and watch this later. For warnings for this series, we have violence, blood, body.
No. That's for.
I know. Wait.
That's
as
for a game I was playing earlier.
As I was reading it, I was like, wait a minute.
Violence, blood, body horror, insects, unsettling imagery.
Okay, I saw religious weirdness, and I was like, oh, that must be right.
That could apply.
And then I was like, violence. There is violence.
That's
and then I got to
true.
body horror, and I was like, I'm going to slow down.
I guess, maybe.
I suppose.
Mob Psycho.
Mob gets really wild after a while.
You guys have no idea.
It can be a little violent occasionally. There's some mental health stuff in it. But generally Mob isn't like too warning heavy.
No, it's pretty, I wouldn't say lighthearted, but it's pretty like not too much warnings. Yeah. Let's go ahead and have Dodger is going to read the summary for us this week. If you don't mind going ahead and doing that.
Yeah, let's go. All right. Kageyome Shigeo, aka Mob, is a boy who has trouble expressing himself, but who happens to be a powerful esper. Mob is determined to live a normal life and keeps his ESP suppressed, but when his emotions surge to a level of 100%, something terrible happens to him. As he's surrounded by false espers, evil spirits, and mysterious organizations, what will Mob think? What choices will he make? That's it. That's it. I did it, Bows.
Yeah, I did it. It's perfect. Spoiler-free recommendations. I can go first.
Go for it.
I adore Mob Psycho. It's been a while since we read it, but I have watched the anime. I'm like caught up on the anime, the current season, and I have been endeared by Mob Psycho since the very beginning. I just love the characters. I love Mob. I love Reagan. I love every other person who's introduced, and I think it's a very sweet but exciting and fun story. And I think people might look at it and dismiss it because of the artwork. And I think you definitely should not do that. And I also highly recommend the anime as well.
Yeah, I agree. Mob is like a really good, fun, exciting depiction of like micro stressors, like what it's like for things to just build up. It's a great story. Like Erin said, the characters are so good. The humor is spot on. Both the manga and the anime are really, really fun. So I definitely recommend it. I think that it's so sweet sometimes and so funny sometimes and really worth people's time.
My turn. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I do think it's a bit slower at the start, but once it sets everything, it's like a wonderful character piece.
Mm-hmm.
You get to know these characters so much, and they're just so endearing that, I don't know, you fall in love with them so easily. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Well, now we are going to jump into spoiler section. Once we get into spoiler section, we ask nobody post any spoilers for anything past chapter 64. I think that's all.
And that's
about
it.
That.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Don't be a butt. All right, sick. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Reagan's God.
Reagan is God.
Reagan is God.
Reagan.
This is
Cecil.
Dude, this is. I have a lot to say about him, so I'm really excited that we get to talk
We had
about
some really
him.
good Reagan moments in this.
That's some
in this
real
reading.
good ones. Yeah. So I think, Dodger, I know you have watched the anime. Moeka,
Yes.
have you watched the anime?
I've watched the first season and I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of the current one, but then I was just like, oh, I didn't quite remember where we left off in the manga, so I don't know why. I got kind of weird about it, so I was just like, well, I think I'd rather read it first and kind of go in blind if we
Yeah.
aren't that ahead.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, the
Right.
current anime season is pretty far ahead of what we read. Well, I guess not pretty far, but it's definitely ahead of us.
Yes, yeah. Just by a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
either way, it's not too detrimental.
Right. Well, then what were you expecting going into this reading?
I guess I was expecting to be further along in the anime, like the current season, but I was just like, oh no, this is still like the past season I saw.
Yeah, it was season 2. Wait, there's been 2 seasons, right? Or am I
3
crazy?
seasons.
3.
Three
Yeah.
seasons. Yeah. So we're almost into. We're not
The third one.
quite. Are we like near the halfway point of the second season? Or am I just forgetting how second season went?
Oh my god, now I'm second guessing where we ended on the manga.
Yeah,
reading.
now I'm scared.
Oh,
Wait, where did we
shit.
stop
Why did
reading?
Wait,
Wait, I'm
a
gonna go
moment.
look.
Wait a moment.
God,
Stop reading chapter 66. Yes?
Right. Wait. I know I read to 66. Hold on.
Okay, let's see.
We need like a little like
Like we
elevator music.
we did the whole like claw scar
Yeah.
thing. We finished all that.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no. It was a little bit to the current season.
The tits. That's okay. I've seen it.
Well, yeah, I did watch a couple episodes, so it's not that bad. But yeah, I guess I expected to still be further along in what happened. But I was just like,
Yeah.
oh no, like I saw most of this.
Yeah, and it's pretty like 1 for 1 too.
Yeah,
terms
that's
of-
what I it had been such a while since we've like read this that I forgot how 1-to-1 the anime really is, which like props to the animators because that it goes so hard that I was just like, oh, maybe they added because sometimes anime adaptations they have to like stuff in original stuff or like
Yeah.
quote unquote filler, and I was just like, wow, yeah, this is like pretty 1-to-1.
Yeah. And so I just looked and I was not thinking the correct amount. I did read up to chapter 60, whatever. Because it's partway through the like group of psychics that went on a journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
To face what's like the strongest psychic ever, or whatever his
Right.
deal is. Okay.
Yeah, so
now that we are together.
right. So where we started off was with like we were like a ways into Ritsu, his brother's whole like unlocking his power and all of that sort of stuff, and then getting kidnapped by the company and Mob going to save him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked getting to spend more time with Ritsu. I liked how much they explored in this section, like siblings being really different from each other, and so like looking at one another's strengths and being really envious of that, but still caring about each other a lot.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice to sort of do with Ritsu.
Yeah, because he sometimes with like the sibling figure who also has powers, They don't touch on them till way later. Like, it's not always where it's like the second arc is where we get to see them. And so I really liked that they brought him forward as soon as they did, and that we also get to see Mob learning about his powers too.
Yeah, because I think like a huge theme from the very beginning, right, is that to Mob, like, his powers are not as important as they are to literally everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So Ritsu being really envious of the power that Mob has, and Mob being more envious of basically everything else about Ritsu, right? Like,
yeah,
Ritsu's really smart and he's really charismatic, and, you know, like all of these things that Mob has like so much difficulty with, like socializing and like speaking his mind and all of these things. Like, I liked that from the perspective of his brother, we sort of got to dive into that a bit more. This, like, the way that Mob just has he places value on totally different things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was also, we got to see more amateur, psychics too, against really mature psychics. I mean, not mature, but older psychics who've had their powers for a lot longer, and who are also creating like fake psychics. So that was another turn that made Mob have to face off against a lot of psychics, which he hasn't really done yet to this point.
Yeah.
Bringing them all in. Poor Mob.
I know.
Not to, just because I'm so excited, can we talk about Reagan?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Course.
So when you start Mob Psycho, you're like, this dude is such a, like, weird tool manipulator.
He's a hustler.
And then very quickly, he's a hustler. And you're like, usually hustler characters, you're like, okay, sir. Reagan is not. Reagan brings all the ladies and all the men to his yard, swindles them, and you don't even care about it. And I think this section of reading really solidifies why Reagan is so loved, because you see what he is to Mob and how he is the, like, best influence on Mob in a very odd way, because Mob starts to go crazy with his power, and Reagan comes up and is like, you don't have to use it. This isn't something you need to do. And then Mob gives Reagan his powers, and then Reagan becomes this, like, crazy psychic. So all these people are like, oh, he really is the god.
Bro,
and
that section,
one of my favorite
the
scenes,
first
like,
time that I read that part forever ago, I was like, what is going on? Is Reagan actually powerful? It was so good. Like, the reveal on that was so fantastic. Yeah, because, like, especially in that scene, Mob is surrounded by all of these, lots of adults, like a lot of adults, and they're all, you know, just really super into how powerful they are, or are just really selfish. And you have this character who's been built up as, you know, he's a hustler and a swindler, and he's just trying to make a quick buck and whatever. But in that moment, he's the one adult that's like, you don't have to do this. Like, this isn't, you're a kid, you know, you shouldn't have to take care of this for, you know, you should, like, you don't have to fight. You don't have to be violent. You know, that's not the choice that you should be making right now. And it's just so sweet. And I love that in that moment, Mob's like, okay, well, you're right. I shouldn't have to make this choice. So I'm going to give my power to you so you make the choice. I thought that was so cool.
I love that. It's just, and like, the way his intro there is so epic, both here and in the manga, or in the anime. And he's just a bunch of people are like, oh, he must be the leader. He's walking in like he's the leader. And Reagan's just doing his normal strut. Like, this is where I belong. Everywhere I belong. And so everybody just started following him. That was one of my favorite parts, is that all these people who are, and it like plays to the idea that these people are so easily convinced of like any sort of higher power that they will on a second just assume that that's the person that is God in a way, like, you know, like a cult leader. He
exemplifies fake it till you make it in every aspect of his life.
100%. God, I love him so much. Because we had that section, and then we also had the next section where it led, like we mentioned, into the group of psychics going to take on the big baddie that is in the daughter, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, I completely spaced about that. Yes, we did hit that part.
Yeah. So unfortunately we stopped like partway into.
We did that last time too. We stopped halfway through a thing. Oh,
yeah.
God.
I know. I'm like, we are going to work on that.
Next time.
Me, so mostly me.
I mean, yeah, I've read pretty far ahead in Mob, so next time I can just like check.
Yeah, because something with Mob, Moeka touched on it earlier, is that it's so one for one that you get very lost if you have watched the anime. It's like, I've already watched this, which means I've read this, so you know everything that happens in the future, but it hasn't happened yet, so trying to remember what happened in the manga so you don't spoil the manga when you're remembering the anime, it can be very complicated.
Yeah.
So, something I wanted to bring up too in terms of art style, and we usually touch on art a little bit later, but I feel like art is a big aspect of this manga in a very unique way. Just because a series like Mob, when you look at it, you notice the artwork and you're like, oh, wait, what? But despite like how scratchy and like novice it might seem, it works really, really well. Like well enough that you can picture what's happening in a lot of parts. And it's really effective, I feel like. Like there's still a lot of times where it doesn't look great, but you're still not bothered by it because it's still working, if that makes sense.
Yeah, while I was setting up the splash screens and stuff, we were kind of talking about that because someone was asking whether or not it's worth it to watch the anime and read the manga, and I was saying I think probably if you're watching the anime, it's probably really difficult to go to the manga just because the art is as novice as it is, but I think there's something to be said for the like success story of someone actually doing I'm just gonna make the thing I want to make. It's not gonna look perfect. I'm just gonna make it, you know. And now we've got One Punch Man and we've got Mob Psycho, and like, you know, it's because this person just made the dang thing. And it doesn't look perfect, but it does grow on you for sure the longer that you read it.
Yeah, so, over time though, you also do see like his improvement
for sure.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Which is like I feel like 60 chapters really is a short amount, and I feel like the growth you see is insane.
Yes. And the dude is young. Like I'm looking him up.
Really? I've never looked actually.
He's 36.
Whoa!
That's how old he is. He's a little. I'm saying he's a baby. I'm 33. Like what a baby! Little baby. I'm trying to remember if Mob Psycho came out first or second. Let's see. One Punch Man came out first. It's still going. So One Punch Man was self-published, which is really cool.
Yeah,
And
so I think that's the interesting thing about this guy is that he just releases these chapters on his website, basically.
Yeah.
And then he cleans them up later on. And now that he's like working with other authors or like artists, then they do their version of what he's already laid out, basically. And then they like change a few things here and there. So it's, yeah, I don't know. It's just really cool. It's really cool to see somebody be like, I don't fucking know how to draw, but I have this idea and I'm just gonna go for it. And it just like, I don't know. It's so nice.
yeah, it like leads to this. It's enough for people to see it and be like, oh man, I want to create more of that. Like, I want to create more. And it's like fan art to the extreme. And the anime, too. Like, anime and manga like are their own thing, different mediums. But I will say that anime is absolutely incredible in like the fluidity, the style, and the anime in its own way takes the same style from the manga, which sounds weird, but it takes the same style from the manga and translates it into an anime, into its own thing, while still maintaining the endearing style of the manga. In terms of like, sometimes the perspectives are purposely a little wonky. The style might look off for a second, but it's still like, oh, I love it. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but I think there's a definite inspiration that they kept into the manga or into the anime from the manga that shows that they respect the original work a lot and just love the manga and want to do it justice and create it while at the same time creating its own version.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of love that the anime has it's just like astronomical. Everybody that is involved in that anime, like in terms of the music or the animating or like the layouts, they're just so in love with this series. It's really nice to see because you do see all that love in this anime, especially in like some of the animation shots.
Mm-hmm. Love little Mob Psycho.
I know. I think I'm sure that we talked about this the first or second time that we read this, probably both times, but I just love how I think when you hear the description for Mob Psycho, you think, oh, it's going to be One Punch Man again, but with psychic powers, right? And I love that that's not at all what this is. Every time I read it or like watching the new anime season now, I'm always so delighted by the really sweet moments, the really like tender moments talking about like at the end of the day it's a manga about feelings, you know? And I think that that's just so sweet. Like it's such an interesting way to go about it, you know?
Yeah, and like coming of age story too. Because he's only 14. He's the baby.
He's a baby. Actual baby.
Oh, I just love him. Cause like Mob is the main character. Reagan is the like other, and then we also have Dimple. What was Dimple? Did Dimple do a lot? Oh, Dimple did do a lot. He possessed the one dude in the first section.
Yeah.
He did so good. He did so good at it.
And then he got put in a jar.
Then he got put in
And he chomped all the other ghosts and was like, nice, I did it.
I actually
loved the weird like mini story inside of the jar of that like that human ghost that was like, just hang out, man. We don't gotta do nothing. If we just sit, we'll live. And Dimple has this weird moment of like, this ain't living, man. I gotta go.
I gotta go. I love that Dimple is like from the very first chapter, and he's just hung along. He's just going along with it.
Yeah, speaking of unexpected things, I didn't think Dimple was going to be a main character.
No.
But I love it.
Not at all. Also, it was like, God, you're going to get so annoying. But he's somehow endearing, too.
Yeah,
where I'm like, you're annoying, but I still really love you.
What's that all about?
What's going on with that, Dimps? Do you guys, is there anything else you would like to touch on with the art? Is there anything anyone would like to bring up on that? I know we kind of like talked about it pretty good so far.
I don't think so.
It's oh no, go ahead.
Oh, all I was gonna say, in terms of art, I have nothing else to say. The only character that I wanted to just like give a nod to that we didn't talk about yet is oh shoot, I can't remember his name. Well, there's Hanazawa, who's awesome, and I love every time he shows up. I love him because he's so weird. But like he's simultaneously like the cool normal kid, but also deeply a weirdo, the same way that Mob is.
Oh my god, yes.
And then
I forgot about him.
Yeah, wore that fucking huge wig to this fight. It kills me.
Oh
Anyhow.
my god, and it gets chopped off, and he's like,
my hair, my power,
my power. And then the other kid that we hadn't talked about was the one in the blazer, not the blazer, the like like sports jacket. Oh fuck.
Show.
Yes, yeah. Who like at the end reveals that he wasn't there as like a weird intern. He was there to like determine whether or not anyone that was working there was like worth their time. And then he just pieces out and was like, yes. Ritsu and I are best friends now. And Ritsu's like, what?
And he like calls his dad.
Yeah.
The dad art. Okay, not spoil anything, but I forgot like having watched what happens later.
Yes.
Like having that part happen, seeing him call his dad, I was like, oh shit. I remember now.
Yeah. Yes. I had forgotten a couple elements of that.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Got the big baddie. Because that's something about Mob 2, is it's kind of like, up till a certain point, very like episodic, kind of supernaturally, where they go fight Monster of the Week. And you're like, what is the overarching villain here? Or is it just going to be like, Mob fights one person and he grows in some way, and then the next arc is like he goes against someone else and we see his character develop in another way. So this is like the first time, like Sho calling his father is kind of the first time we see that there is an overarching villain about to happen.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so that's that's exciting to have that started.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, do you guys have anything else? Do we need to talk about any more characters more in depth or anything?
I don't think there's anything else on my end.
Yeah, I think we got it.
Yeah, I think so too. We kind of got all of them. Like, we did read, even though it felt a little slower, but good. We didn't read a whole lot, if that makes sense. Like, we finished an arc and started an arc, and both were, like, really, really great, but there's not much more to say, I don't think. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and wrap up our final thoughts and vibe check, would anybody like to go first?
Big vibes, good vibes. I love Mob Psycho. I highly recommend. I think it's very sweet and very funny, and it's good vibes.
Yeah, it's great vibes. Sometimes you'll be asking yourself, like, how am I feeling? Like, am I doing good? Do I gotta check up on people? I don't know. It's a nice vibe. It's great to see, like, because I feel like with coming of age stories, sometimes it gets a little messy because, like, being a teenager is such a turbulent time that sometimes I feel like authors, it's been so long since they were in that time period that they go a little too ham with it, and some of the teenage characters are like, I just can't. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with them. But Mob Psycho, I don't know. Like I said, all the characters are very endearing. They, like, everybody adds something to the conversation, and so it's nice. It's a good vibe.
Something as we were talking, something that is very epic about Mob Psycho every single time it happens is as you watch the percentage grow before he like bursts. Every single time that goes up, you're like, oh, it's getting closer. It's coming closer. And that was something I wanted to touch on earlier and just forgot. So I wanted to bring up how hype that is every single time.
Yes.
Excuse me. Yeah, I love Mob Psycho. Every time I go back to watch or read, I just enjoy experiencing it over again. I love the characters. I love the action and just the whole through storyline and the meaning and feelings that it brings out. And major vibes, all the vibes, so much vibes, all the vibes. Cool. Well, that wraps up our discussion of Mob Psycho 100. We hope you go and check it out, whether that's reading it or watching the anime, which is available on Crunchyroll right now. Yes, I do have 2 puppies on my head, and I love them. Those are my pups.
Yeah.
Pups.
We all have our aminals on it. Well, I guess I should have a bunch of chickens on me.
Yeah, where's your chicks?
Where's my chickens?
Yeah.
Your head would just build up so it reaches the top of the splash screen, just like as chickens stacked on one another.
Oh.
Cool. Well, we will be letting you guys know what we're reading on Twitter. We will tweet that out and also post it inside the Discord. If you would like some more MangaPod, we have a Discord, and we also have a website, mangapod.car.co. That's 2 R's. We also have our Twitter, where we put a bunch of updates and stuff if we have to switch the days or anything like that. We are also on Spotify and Google Podcasts and iTunes if you'd like to listen to us anytime over there. I'm Erin of Happily Erin. You can find MangaPods on my YouTube channel. What's my YouTube? Happily Erin. And I'm really active on Twitter and Instagram if you'd like to come and talk to me over there.
I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dex Bonus on pretty much everything. I play a different game every day, and I drink coffee, and I have chickens. So come hang out. Yeah, Dabs.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Moeka. I'm at Mega Moeka pretty much everything too. I stream. Oh my god, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. If you want to see me cry my fucking heart out. Oh my god, dude.
What class are
Heaven's
you?
Ward. I'm playing Bard right now.
Oh,
but,
fun.
I'm thinking of being an Astro.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got through Heaven's Ward, and let me just say that shit fucked me up. So you want to see me cry? I'm already tearing up thinking about it. Fuck. Anyways, yeah, come hang out.
Aww. Awesome. Well, thank thank you all so much for joining us. We loved having you here, and we love having you listen, and we really appreciate all of your support. And once again, we will see you guys next week. We'll be tweeting out what we are planning on reading. Thank you guys so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, 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 bye.